Hey everyone, so it's another patch day and we've got a couple of more updates for the game. Now I know that a couple of days ago I put out a what to expect from this week's patch video following the dev stream. However, there are some subtle differences and some clarifications that I wanted to make, which is why I'm doing this video. If you do want to just read through the patch notes yourself, head on over to console.play.blackdesert.com and you'll be able to view them under the news tab. But anyway, let's get straight into this and I'll try not to drone on for too long. So first and foremost, the Shai class. I've already clarified this myself and it has been clarified before by PA. The class is now in a pre-release state. This means that you can create the class but you can't play the Shai. You can create the class between now and the 26th, at which point you can then enter the game on the class. This is something that some people might find a little bit confusing if they haven't read up on the information and they try to make the class and go and play straight away. It's not a bug, it is intended, and that's the way the release is going to go for this class. With regards to any other classes, we have no further news, so it's purely Shai that's been added in this patch. Next, we have Nouver. Now, the schedule for Nouver has been up on the website for the last couple of days. Again, head on over to Play Black Desert, and you'll be able to see that Nouver has been added into the rotation alongside Kutum and Zarka. So Nouver provides a new offhand, and I have done a video that I'm going to link in the card in the top. If you just click on that exclamation mark, it'll go over a rundown of Kutum versus Nouver and whether or not you should be looking to pick up Nouver at the moment. But ultimately, it's a new boss, a new world boss with boss offhand, so everybody's going to be looking to pick this up. Prices are going to fluctuate to start with. As usual, we'd expect to see them start relatively low and then take a steep climb up towards their cap. If you are looking to pick up a Nouver, I would definitely keep an eye on the pre-orders from the moment that the first boss goes down and start to get your pre-order up there. If you're very lucky, you might even be able to snipe the first one. Next up is the Arsha Servers. So the Arsha Servers have been added to the game. However, they've been added with a little bit of a caveat. So the bandit or the chaos mark is still going to be present in Valencia. In other words, if you go out and kill people in Valencia and die, you will still get sent to jail. This is a huge thing and I'm not particularly happy about this because I think that it kind of ruins the point of an Arsha server. That being said though, you do have the option of killing people elsewhere on Arsha, so it's not all terrible. There's also no mention of the 50% experience. The only thing that they've mentioned is the 50% item drop rate increase when playing on Arsha servers. That's probably the main reason that people play on them, coupled with the PvP though. So the loss of the XP isn't huge, especially not if we've still got the hot time event going on. It is worth noting you do need to be level 50 to access the Arsha servers, and also that world bosses and field bosses will not spawn on an Arsha shard, and also the Valencia Desert Merchant Caravan will not spawn on that channel either. So those are the main details and a little bit of clarification on Arsha. Battle Arena is exactly what it says, it's purely a new arena. The benefit of this one though is after level 50, when you gain access to the Battle Arena, you can teleport through the main menu. This means that from anywhere in the world, similar to Red Battlefield, you can teleport to the Battle Arena. This is great for people like myself that like to 1v1, or for anybody that's organising tournaments or anything like that, which is going to be one of the first things that Techie from Alpha is doing this Friday, so definitely check out the post on Reddit. But again, it's just another arena, it's another place to PvP, and it's going to be a little bit of fun for people, especially when it starts getting used early on. Now, some of the more interesting stuff. Party elixirs are added to the game. These party elixirs are fantastic. They're essentially just elixirs that you create yourself. However, they benefit everybody in your group, hence the name party elixirs. So these are going to mainly appeal to siege guilds, node guilds, or anybody that's sort of group grinding together and going for max efficiency in places like History and Ackman, where they're popping full elixirs and they're fully buffed up. This just essentially means that you can keep your buffs up on your party and have a huge amount of buffs. It's something I am going to cover in another video in terms of how you can look to maximize your buffs whenever you're doing PvP or sieges, or if you're group grinding in some of those harder areas. But party elixirs being put into the game is something nice to have, and like I said, it's really simple. All you need is the Arls tiers from the material vendor and 2 of the elixirs of the same type that you're looking to create, and you just combine them through simple alchemy. Nothing special there. Now, the Awakened Boss Scrolls. So Awakened Boss Scroll pieces have been added as a reward for completing your daily and weekly boss scrolls. So these Awakened Boss Scroll pieces act similar to your Relic Fragments and your Forbidden Books. You need to combine them together in order to generate an Awakened Boss Scroll. So these Awakened Boss Scrolls present bosses that are a great deal stronger and have higher drop chances and better loot tables. So essentially it's given us another chance to get boss armor and increasing the chance that you're going to get it. This is pretty significant for people, especially if you've been consistently stocking up on these scrolls. So they do have a chance to drop from your weekly and your daily, and you need 5 awakened boss scroll pieces to create a daily boss scroll, which is things like Red Nose, Beg, Gaiath, or 3 awakened boss scroll pieces for a weekly, which is Hexmarie, Dimtree and Muskim. So this is going to give you another avenue to look to get that boss gear. Definitely something that's been missing for the game, and it's nice to see it added this soon. Coupled with the Night Vendor, people should really be starting to rack up that boss gear. I myself have got more than just a few pieces. I've actually got a couple of duplicates at the moment that are waiting to be sold, so I'm all for more boss armor being available. The more that we can get, the better. It's great for trading inside of guilds, especially if you know how to use the CM to do that. Next up are the Node War changes. So there's nothing significant here except for the fact that Calphian region's been open. So Calphian presents its own castle. So Calphian region itself has a castle. Now the owners of that castle get an increased loot drop chance of 50% to the entire region of Calphian. The beauty of this is it covers things like the Abandoned Monastery and Hex Sanctuary. So what I would expect to see is an influx of Witches' Earrings and Moss, and a likelihood of things dropping in price. Also worth mentioning that the ogres fall into that area as well, so we could see an influx of ogre rings depending on which guild gets the castle and how much they're farming the area. But this coupled with Arsha as well is going to be an interesting addition to the game. In terms of guilds that are looking to do node wars and not necessarily doing the sieges or the conquest areas, there are a whole bunch new nodes. So we've got a ton of nodes added to the node schedule. So these will run alongside the Balanos and the Serendia, and will provide a bunch of new tier 1 to tier 4 nodes for guilds to compete over. Hopefully this gives a lot of the smaller guilds a chance to pick up nodes and start to bank some money, which will in turn allow them to pay out their members and hopefully progress and grow, which should help to improve the PvP on the servers. Fingers crossed for that one. It is worth noting as well though that the first guild to take Calphian Castle will only have a reduced payout. This is because there's very few days left between now and Saturday. So the first Conquest War in Calphian will give a reduced payout, and then the money will return to normal from then onwards. We're going to skip over the quest and knowledge changes. There's nothing really that particularly interesting there. Item changes wise, this is an interesting one. The left trigger and Y to delete items instead of just pressing Y. That's going to stop the accidental deletion of items, hopefully. That being said, some people will still manage to delete things. I know I've deleted try items in the past and had to have them restored. I'm all for anything that helps to limit the possibility of that happening. NPC changes. So other than the convenience of the stable keepers offering repair tools and fixing horse gear and boat gear, there's also the Imperial Trade NPCs have been activated. This means that you can now turn in things to the Imperial Traders. So that's going to be another avenue of income for people and something that worth having a look at. I know there's a lot of people in Alpha that have been waiting for this to come into the game, and finally we have it. So now there are three minor changes. We have changes to Ranger, Sorceress and Berserker. Now these are all really just cosmetic or simple changes except for Sorceress, which is a pretty significant one. So to begin with, they fixed the tooltip on the description of Camasylvan's Sword, the Awakening for Ranger, where it was saying that you needed to press RB. You needed to press Y for the switch like every other class. So this being introduced is going to stop people from posting random, why does this skill not work? It does work, you're just pressing the wrong button, but after all it's no fault of your own. Sorceress, this is a huge one, so we now have the change to holding left analog stick down and pressing Y. This will automatically switch us into Awaken from Amulet and provide Caution's Protection, so it will give us an instant block. This was missing and it was pretty significant for people if they weren't used to playing around it or if they were very reliant on blocks. So I know this was raised on the Reddit forums and I'm glad to see that they've looked at this and they've managed to fix it. Berserker, we've got the left trigger in A. While holding up on the left stick, it will now prioritize Lava Piercer. This takes some of the clunkiness away from getting Lava Piercer to activate and prevents any skills triggering when you are trying to Piercer instead. This is huge for Berserkers because Lava Piercer is a big mobility skill for them and it flows into combos really well. So it's good to see that they've fixed that straight away. Now we're not going to go over the bug fixes and the other changes. If you want to read through these, I'll leave them up on the screen so you can pause this and watch them, or read them, sorry. Ultimately, you can always go to the website and have a look at them. So it's just a quick rundown of the patch notes. There's nothing huge there, but there are some interesting things that are worth noting and that I didn't have the opportunity to cover until they were clarified once we had the official patch notes. Hopefully you found this useful. As always guys, leave comments in the comment section. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and as you've probably seen, there's been a ton of content coming over the last couple of days and it's only going to continue moving forwards. I'd like to thank everybody for the support so far. If you are new and from the PS4 content or from the PS4 community and looking forward to the release, drop in and say hi in the comment section. I will be looking to play the PS4 version as well. And I've got some huge things coming up in terms of my channel and the content and everything I'm able to do moving forwards, so keep your eyes peeled for that.